Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. It's going to be a tropical update for the Atlantic and Eastern Pacific. I won't be going the models because most of this is too close to show the models. Because they'll just be showing what the tracks are showing. Anyway, sorry for any stuttering or interruptions. And let's get started. So we have the Atlantic pulled up here. Let's start with disturbance 1. A tropical wave near the Cabo Verde Islands continues to produce a broad area of disorganized shower and thunderstorm activity. An area of low pressure is forecast to form with the system the next day or so. And environmental conditions appear generally conducive for additional development. And a tropical depression could form by the latter part of this week as the system moves generally west-northwestward or northwestward over the eastern and central tropical Atlantic. The chance of formation between the next 48 hours is a low of 30% chance, but in the next 5 days, the medium 60% chance. If we go to current storm info, we do see it is not an invest yet, so I'll take a bit. Next, let's go to Danielle, where it is currently moving north-northeast at 9 miles an hour. Its current sustained winds are at 85 miles an hour. It's expected to be a hurricane until around late Wednesday, and then by early Thursday, it's supposed to be a tropical storm and be subtropical by the evening on Thursday. If we look at the wind speed probabilities, you see, of course, no threat to land. If we look at the wind history, we do see that it was a hurricane for a bit, then it stopped, and of course it's still currently a hurricane. It's currently 85 miles an hour, and it's expected to weaken from this point and drop below hurricane status in around 60 hours and become post-tropical, extratropical storm in 3 days. I'm not going to read discussion because there is no land threat. Arrival time of winds, it could pass close to the Azores, but the Azores shouldn't be getting anything. Spaghetti models do not show anything. Too bad, of course. It's showing what the track for the National Hurricane Center is showing, and all of the model intensity guidance, or at least most of them, shows it staying the same and then weakening from this point forward. Now, we just got to go back to there, and I'll show you guys Earl. Earl is currently moving north at 6 miles an hour with sustained winds of 65 miles an hour and is no threat to land. If we look at the wind speed probabilities, we do see that the body of land except Bermuda is in the tropical storm force wind speed probabilities. Bermuda is in 50 to 60% chance of tropical storm force winds, and about to be in the 60 to 70% chance. Bermuda is also in the 20 to 30% chance of 50-knot winds, and in the 10 to 20% chance of hurricane force winds. Key messages: ongoing. So yeah, of course, it's still affecting the Leeward Islands a bit, but anyway, ongoing heavy rainfall from Earl's feeder bands could still lead to limited flash urban and small stream flooding impacts over the Leeward Islands, U.S. and British Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico this afternoon and evening. Rapid rises on rivers and mudslides in this area of steep terrain are possible in Puerto Rico. Considerable flood impacts cannot be ruled out. Those areas that receive heavier rainfall totals. 2. Finally, the National Hurricane Center is talking about Bermuda. So 2, we see Earl Center is expected to pass to the southeast of Bermuda in around 3 to 4 days. However, the wind field of the tropical cyclone is expected to increase significantly, though an interest on the island should continue to monitor the progress of the system closely, so it's going to get much bigger, the wind field. And we could see tropical storm force, maybe possibly some hurricane gusts on Bermuda. So we'll just have to see, potentially, and likely some flooding and higher waves. High significant wave heights. So if the most likely time of arrival for Bermuda to start getting their tropical storm force winds would be around Thursday noon, early afternoon, because it's in between the 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., so early evening. Now, earliest reasonable would be them getting it around Wednesday to Thursday overnight, but though I think we are going to stick with the most likely. It's currently 65 miles an hour and expected to gain hurricane strength in around 36 hours, or 75 miles an hour, and expected to get to Category 2 between 60 and 72 hours, and could be a major hurricane by 4 days, 120 miles an hour, and by 120 miles an hour in 96 hours, and by 120 hours, aka 5 days, it will still be a major hurricane, borderline 115 miles an hour. And of course, you need 111 miles an hour to be classified as a major hurricane. For K, we see tropical storm watches are in effect for the southern parts of the Baja California Sur. It's currently maximum sustained winds of 80 miles an hour, and it's moving west-northwest at 10 miles an hour. Now, part of the Baja California Sur is in the cone. Wind speed probabilities. Actually, we'll go to arrival times. First, we see the most likely time, we're only going to do that, for the Baja California Sur to start getting their tropical storm force winds will be around Wednesday noon, and then the center part around Thursday morning, and then it'll leave around Friday morning. Now, if earliest reasonable, they'll start getting it around Tuesday night, center part around Wednesday night, and it'll leaving around Thursday night. Wind speed probabilities, not very high because of land friction. So they do have to watch out. Number 1, gusts of tropical storm force and rough surf along the coast of southwestern Mexico are expected through Thursday. In addition, heavy rainfall could lead to flash flooding, including landslides, across portions of the Mexican Riviera and western Mexico through Wednesday night. Tropical storm conditions are possible across the southern Baja California Peninsula by early Wednesday, where a tropical storm watch has been issued. While the details of the long-range track and intensity forecast remain uncertain, there is increasing risk of significant wind, surf, and rainfall impacts across the central portion of the Baja California Peninsula. A tropical storm or hurricane watch could be issued for that region tonight or Tuesday. Discussion. Expected to get up to 110 miles an hour now by 36 hours. I'm currently expecting around 115 miles an hour, but we'll just have to see for that. Okay, now we already showed Hurricane Danielle. If we go to Earl now, we see passing southeast to Bermuda, but a pretty consistent model intensity guidance. I meant spaghetti models. For model intensity guidance, we see most of them show it to a Cat 3 and 2 even show it to a Cat 4. If we look at K, we do see that most model intensity guidance takes it to a Cat 2, even 2 showing a Category 3, and just close to the coast of the Baja California Sur, enough to give it bad wind, rain, flooding impacts, and high surf as well. If we look at the Weather Prediction Center, we are going to open this up, and I'll show you guys the excessive rainfall just as a bonus, because we're on the topic of hurricanes, and they bring flooding. So just as a bonus, we do see a tropical cyclone there. We see a huge area of heavy rainfall, excessive rainfall, a moderate chance across Pennsylvania, parts of New York, into Rhode Island. A slight goes down to Virginia, and marginal extends to Arkansas, up to New Hampshire, and a little sliver of Maine. Day 2, we're seeing slight along parts of the mid-Atlantic coast and a bit of West Virginia, Pennsylvania, a little bit of Virginia and Ohio. Marginal extends from Louisiana all the way up to New Hampshire and a little bit in southern Texas. Day 3, Texas, Louisiana, and a little bit of Alabama all the way up to parts of Rhode Island will be seeing potential heavy rainfall. And if we go back to the National Hurricane Center and we go back to K, there's one more thing I want to show you guys. It's that the tropical storm force wind field is really big, as you can see how wide this is. And if we go back to the Weather Prediction Center, we will look at the rainfall amounts we're seeing potentially in the southern Baja California Sur, up to 4 to 6 to isolated amounts of 10 inches, widespread 2 to 4 inches. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye. Have a great night.